Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of Market Impact, the episode where basically we tell you guys what's risen, what's dropped, and where you can invest, going off of the 6 PM content. So today's 6 PM content, we got content I didn't expect, and content obviously we knew was coming. So we got the likes of Lenglet, obviously we all knew. Well, no, we didn't know. I personally preferred if the Yao Felix one. But we got the Lenglet, which is quite nicely out forever. Obviously, it's been kind of 50-50 right now if these Summer Heat vote players are either out forever or out for a week. But the Lenglet is out for forever. So enjoy playing against him for the rest of FIFA. But yeah, of course, on top of that, we did go and get ourselves the unpredicted, I'd go as far as saying, Party Bag SBC, wherever that is. There you go. And the and generic SBC right here with the community team season. So let's start with the community SBC. Quite an interesting one actually. It doesn't look like much, but it actually is a fair bit, and it did a fair bit to the fodder market. So you need a minimum of 6 clubs, which in my opinion is kind of irrelevant because a later down requirement is you need a maximum player from the same league, a maximum 2. So that means you need to use a minimum of 6 leagues anyway. But you know, I guess whatever. But yeah, so basically you need to use a minimum of 6 leagues. What that means is you're either using players all from the same nation, or you're going to be using a bunch of strong links. For example, maybe using Spanish La Liga left back linking to a Spanish La Liga left mid, and maybe a German Bundesliga right mid linking to a German Bundesliga right back. Or what you're using is you're using a French, German, Spanish. Something along the lines of that as such. Now, what did well for this? We saw basically players from popular nations but very minor leagues do quite well. We saw the likes of Knockenhart rise. We saw the likes of Valbuena rise. The reason Valbuena actually does very well for this is not only is it an awkward requirement, but it's also 79 rating. And obviously with a lot of the rating, especially with the Pie Bag SBC we got recently, you know, rating's very expensive. So ideally using as many 79, 80 rated, 78 rated players as possible. And obviously Valbuena, if we can load him in right now, is a, you know, he's a Frenchman, not in a major league. Yeah, if we can go and load him up right now. He's a Frenchman, not in a major league, who's 80 rated. So I believe he started off about 2.3k before 6 PM, and now you can see he's up very, very nicely. I mean, you know, there you go. He's in at 7k. He's absolutely boomed. And once again, you know, you can identify this being an investment by when it says, you know, 79 rating. Obviously you need high rating. But the main one there is a maximum players from each league, maximum 2. You know, you having to use a minimum of 6 leagues with getting the 75 chemistry, with getting 79 rating. Any basically 79 rateds or above from your major nations of like Spain, Germany, France are going to do well. I mean, let me check a player I've been looking at a fair bit myself. Someone like Meccano, I'd imagine, may have done quite well. Just because again he's you know, major nation of Spain, but not in the main league. Has he done well? Yeah, he's done pretty well. I believe it was about 1.7k before 6 PM, and now he's up to like 2.9k. And even let's see how another one of my investments have done. Mariano, of course, a very high-rated right back, Brazilian. Obviously, there aren't many high-rated right back Brazilians in this game. And yeah, Mariano even up to like 4k. So, happy days for me. He's up to 5k. I've got a bunch of them. So, so yeah. Basically what did well, major nation, minor league, high chemistry. But now on the way with the SBC that I just really didn't expect being today, and that was the Party Bag. Now the reason I didn't expect this being today is because EA have run a bit of an algorithm, or a bit of, not an algorithm, or a bit of a schedule. So the first set of Party Bags we got in, the first set came on the Tuesday, the Friday, and the following Tuesday. Well, so far, we haven't even had any Pie Bags in the second set, but we did have 88 SBCs. The 88 plus SBCs came on the Sunday, Tuesday, and obviously, you know, we'd expect the next one being Sunday. So I expected this coming tomorrow to fit kind of like the schedule we've had so far with the second batch. But no, this came today. Really didn't expect it till tomorrow. But yeah, I recommend people investing in players that offered high chem, low rating but high chem, and sadly, they've kind of mugged us off, obviously. They could have gone with the 80 chemistry, 83 rating, but instead they've kind of flipped it on the head, and instead of requiring high chemistry and low rating, they're requiring, I guess, more rating as such, in terms of an 81 and an 82, but much lower chem. So they've kind of gone for the polar opposite. And what this kind of does is this kind of just balances out the market, you know, rather than having loads of expensive left backs and right backs and loads of expensive left mids and right mids, it kind of just means the left mids and right mids don't really move, but the strikers and goalkeepers who are cheap rises. So this is kind of, I guess, the tactic EA's used to rise the whole market. Investments really did very, very well for these. Again, just some of the cheapest of their rating. Because there wasn't much chemistry needed, your goalkeepers did very well. I think Giovinco went up to like 5k. Who else did? Zahavi went up to 5k. You know, these players that wouldn't normally be used because they don't offer very good chemistry. You know, they're in either poor leagues or nations. Did pretty well for it. So, yeah, cheapest of their rating, did well for this. What this might do, by the way, is, and you'd probably look at investing on these on the squad battles, is players that offer high chem and high rating. Now, the worry is that they're going to re-release this SBC with the exact same requirements, and therefore high chemistry and high rating isn't needed. But, you know, you can take the punt on that. So you wait till Sunday with rewards, and you go invest in your high-rated, I'd say 80 to 83 rated left back, left mid, and centre backs. Because again, they're not being used for this, and if cards aren't being used, theoretically they're you know, going down as such. So that's the second SBC. First one is the generic SBC. That bring up, you know, nations and whatever. Sorry, popular nations, minor leagues. And this one just bring up all generic fodder. As a person went with Luke de Jong, Fabregas, and Fonte. I know Luke de Jong went from, I think it was 3k to 5k. The Fabregas I bought for 1.5 are up to 3k. And the Fonte I think I bought for like 1.5. I think they're up to 3. So they've done quite well. And again, they were the cheapest of their rating. I just went on Footbin and looked sort of the cheapest. Now, underway with the big boy SBC, the Lenglet. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Lenglet's done much for high-rated fodder, because I actually have like a few PKs and biscuits, and I checked them, and PK is actually down 3-4k, even though theoretically these are the SBCs that, you know, should aid, you know, the PK rising. And I don't think PK went down because they're replacing it with Lenglet, because if you're using PK's goal card at this point in FIFA, I might be slightly worried. But yeah, an 86, an 86, an 82, and an 84. I mean, let's have a little look what this is coming to on the likes of Footbin. Footbin is shouting this SBC coming to 450. Bear in mind it's out forever. I don't think that is really, you know, I don't think that is bad value for money as such. And so do other people. Other people don't seem to think this is bad value whatsoever, because Varane, who's been a bit of a weird card today, his team in season 1, and obviously this is a direct replacement. You know, you could have Varane and now you're replacing him with Lenglet. I think it was 1.5 million today. He then went down to 1.3 million in anticipation. A lot of centre backs a lot of centre backs who you'd replace Lenglet with actually dropped in anticipation today. So if you can look at the hourly, you can see he's been sitting at, there you go, 1.54. He then dropped to 1.3 and then rose to 1.4 million, sorry, before 6 p.m. So he's had a bit of a weird one. He was 1.4 before 6 p.m. We're about 30 minutes after. Let's have a little look what he's down from. So he's down from 1.4 down past, I imagine, 1.3 million. So he's dropped another 100k. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. Expect him to drop and drop and drop. I don't think there's any investment in him. This card is literally going to be put back in packs on Friday, which is, what, like 5-6 days time. So I don't think there's any investment. It's just if you have a Varane, I would probably get out of him. Yeah, I'd probably get out of him now. I'll be honest with you. I'd probably get out of him in the panic selling. Varane that took way more of a hit was actually headliner Varane. Now, obviously, this is a 500k SBC, and you know, you'd imagine a 500k SBC isn't really replacing a 1.3 million player that much. But normally what happens if an SBC is 500k, it replaces 500k players way more. This Varane was the likes of 300k before 6 p.m. I believe he's taken quite the hit. And again, it's because if you have this Varane, you near enough will probably able to afford that Lenglet. Yeah, this Varane is looking down even over 100k right now, which is a bit scary, yeah. Investing opportunity? Theoretically, there would be more of an investing opportunity in this one because it's down 1/3. And obviously, he's not currently in packs. I mean, neither is the team in season 1, but neither is he probably going to get put back in packs. And the team in season Varane is going to be very expensive. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'd probably just hold off. I think your best case right now is to hold off that and just go invest in players that can be out of packs on Friday. But there's Varane. A few other players that have managed to take a bit of a hit. Team of season Ramos, I believe what was it? I know it wasn't team of season. Team of season Ramos is down like 20k, so he hasn't really had an effect whatsoever. Second and form Ramos, on the other hand, who was very recently released, that card is down 20k. Carlos literally had the exact same thing as Varane. And as I say, these cards dropped in panic, pre-panic selling. I don't know if the leakers were maybe tweeting them out as such. But this Carlos, you can see this thing's with Varane, it's very casually just in at 560. Then before 6 p.m, he just casually dropped like 90k. Well, I'll be honest with you, 6 p.m. really hasn't helped him whatsoever. Diego Carlos, who was 490. So these people were basically right to sell him before 6 p.m. There you go. Diego Carlos, who was 490 before 6 p.m, is now... Let's have a little look. Okay, one second. He may have had a bit of a rebound, because I'm seeing a few 430s here. Ah, no, it's because I'm an idiot looking at his headliner. Alright, my bad. Yikes. Alright, Carlos, who was 490 before 6 p.m, There you go, 430. So he's down 60k right now, and I'll be honest with you, I'd imagine him just keep on dropping and dropping and dropping. So sadly, no investing opportunity there. And that kind of wraps us up for content. So today really hasn't been anything too crazy in terms of investing, not unless you're around at 6 PM and such. But one thing I would say is there's kind of two things, I guess, that you can invest in. One, I would look at some of the left backs, right backs, left mids, right mids that were perceived to offer very high chemistry for the SBCs. Because what would have probably happened is people would invest in these cards, thinking they'll be needed. They now haven't been needed, and as a result, some of them may become the cheapest of their rating. Well, because that SBC doesn't offer high chem, what people are, or high rating, sorry. Well, high chem or high rating. What people are going to be doing is just buying the cheapest of their rating. So, I don't know, let's say, for example, Suso becomes one of the cheapest 82s. I mean, right now he's, or even Politano becomes one of the cheapest 82s. Right now, Politano is 3k. The cheapest 82 on the market right now is 2.7k. So you can see that, I mean, let's say you drop down to 2.5k and FUTBIN didn't update. Politano is actually now the cheapest right mid on the market. And as a result, he'll bang when he hits the cheapest because he'll get into cheap scenarios on FUTBIN. So what I would say is maybe look at some left mids and right mids. So anywhere from 81 to maybe 83 rating. Because if these cards get panic sold enough by investors, you know, there's an investing opportunity right there, and they'll rise when they make it FUTBIN scenarios. Likewise, you can look to invest in these players during squad battles if they're not needed for either, tomorrow, which, again, you buy them and then hold on to them till an SBC. But I think that's going to have us wraps up. Pretty good day for market. Tomorrow's Sunday. Sunday's going to be quite a quiet day, so we wouldn't expect too much on that. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. As I have recently, we've jumped onto TikTok and Instagram. Oh gosh. Both my usernames are FLAIR.FIFA on them, so if you want to check them out. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another market impact video.